like, yeah, when I was like 15, I was smoking with this so-called friend, and like weed used to induce these panic attacks with me, where like I would like spiral and fucking throw up and shit like a Whitey, but it's like it's more than a Whitey. It's like a fucking psychotic break. Like it's happened in a lot of different ways. It doesn't happen now. I've like somehow mastered weed, but when I first started smoking weed, I used to have a limit, and um, yeah, there used to be a cap where it wasn't the more the better. It was like I can only smoke so much before I'm fucked. And like say like one of my first smokes, I like completely like had a trip. I swear, I just smoked some weed on one of my first times smoking it, and I was like completely gone, brother. I was like fucking didn't know nothing, man. I was like just I was outside with these group of people and that, and I was literally like fucking teleporting and shit. Like I didn't know where I was. I was scatting out about like police and shit. I fucking just keep waking up in a new environment, like just looking around me. Like how did I end up here? That's what was happening. But what was I saying? Yeah, when I had this fucking I smoked with my mate or so-called mate in this in some bin shed thing. There's nowhere to smoke on these fucking estates. This was when I was 15, yeah. And I had one of these weird fucking weed panic attack things. They're fucking gruesome, bro. I've had loads of them, man. Like, the weed just, like, spins you out, and you just... Yeah, so how will they happen, yeah? I remember it. It's like, you smoke weed. Yeah, bro, it's scary, man. This is kind of why I'm fucked up, yeah. It's because of shit like this, man. It's fucking traumatized me. Like, even though it's just me doing it to myself, bro. But this used to happen all of the time. I have many memories of this. It's like, I'd smoke a joint, like, with my low-life mates, with tobacco in it. And by the way, when I got rid of the tobacco, it stopped doing it. Uh, for the most part, I believe. Like, around about that time. Um, yeah, so yeah, this used to happen all of the fucking time. So I'd smoke. I got very familiar with this process. I'd smoke a joint, and rarely I would notice that my thoughts have become exclusively negative. That's how it begins. Is I'd go, oh, it's happening. Because I just got used to it, and it's like basically I realized that for the past 3 minutes or so I've just been like going down some negative thought spiral, and then when I realize what's happening, like I cannot stop it. My mind is like going fucking a million miles an hour down this like negative psychosis where I'm like I remember I've described it for years. It was like every idea was a bad idea. That's how it felt. It's like there was nothing like every slight optimism I would just kill it with nihilism. Like that's nah because nah, and I'm just like spiraling like no, and like uh I don't know, bro. It's just like I don't know what it is. Yeah, and then it would keep going, and then I'd throw up um all the time. It's like a fucking literally like a physical spiral, bro. It spins you out. It's like a whitey. I go like pale as fuck, but it's not just a whitey. It's like actually like pulling out my demons or some shit. And I'm fucking. I spoke about it vaguely on my channel before. Um, yeah, and then you throw up, and then normally you feel better a bit afterwards. After you throw up, that's how it. Yeah, normally you throw up and then you're on the up from there, and it's over. But it's like a purge, bro. It's like a purge induced by weed, and So what I was gonna say in that night that I was with my that mate in that bin shed is to tie it all together and tie the loose ends with everything I was saying about the discipline and the running from pain and the ice baths and uh, personal development, etc. and just getting better at survival was like, yeah, I was in one of these spirals, bruv, and I was having this like fucking breakdown shit, and yeah, it results in crying often, not all the time. Like I say, it doesn't happen anymore. I'm like immune to weed now. Uh, but Yeah, it's like a cold sweat where you just put your hands in your face, like it's like a whitey, yeah. Um, but yeah, I said to my mate when I was like 15, I was in the midst of one of these. I was like, I know I'm gonna fuck up my life because I can't be fucked. That's what I said, and that's how I felt at the time. I don't know where that come from really. I wasn't really awake at that point, or like, I mean, because there's nothing to fuck up. Because like you ain't got to deep it like that. Like fuck up your life. Like you're the one trying to win is the reason you lost. So it's just that's where enlightenment comes in. Is you realise that you're the one perpetuating the desire to begin with. So enlightenment isn't a fantasy because I'm there fucking having a breakdown, 15 years old, confused as fuck. I'm gonna fuck up my life because I can't be fucked. But then again, I'm the one who's trying to win, and that's why I'm losing. But it's valid because non-duality is kind of fantasy because you do need to take action in your survival life. So I wasn't, but yeah, I don't know, like just dug out some deep-rooted fear. I didn't mean to rant for so long, but yeah, there's an experience anyway that I had on weed. Um, I don't know why I even brought that up exactly, but it does tie in holistically with the whole like running from pain and the ice baths and shit. And I'll export it to YouTube anyway, so it's not going nowhere if no one listens to it. But um, yeah, I think about that a bit now. Like when I'm struggling with discipline with the CRC video and that is coming to my mind. That experience. It's like, yeah, that was over 5 years ago. I had that fear, and I'm still kind of watching myself self-sabotage myself a bit. Where like I do consistently make bad decisions that don't help my survival long term. Enlightenment is just some next shit that's not even relevant. I'm talking about like success, grounded personal development success, and yeah, that's what is really worth focusing on in a way. Because Bespoke says that the enlightenment and the awakening just keeps you kind of going round and round in circles, like you're best focusing on survival foundation and stuff. And I agree, even though it's kind of the opposite of that. Like enlightenment is the end of the circle because you just stop the circle, stop perpetuating it, and just reside in awakened self-realization forever. But if you're going to be a master yogi, then that will work for you. But for most of us, we ain't these master yogis. Um, so it's both. Most of us, we're going to need a survival foundation, and then maybe we can pursue some forms of enlightenment on top of that. But unless you're willing to completely like starve yourself in pursuit of enlightenment, then you're best off focusing on grounded success. It's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the bottom, you've got basic shelter, survival, warmth, comfort, and at the top is self-actualization, which is enlightenment and stuff. Like you. Yeah. Side note as well is yeah. Side note as well is I won't name who, but I've been guilty of it as well. Kind of as like